We got, who we got here? Revster. Rev make it down to Atlanta. Hope he's doing good. The Revinator, the Revster. Rev, check out Rev's channel. Redneck Red Pill. It's going well today. Just did a workout with my boy. It's always good to hang out with the youngster. Go Shura. In the house, Matt Downer coming off the mountain with his bag of gorp in Michigan. Gerald is back. Good to have Gerald. Gerald Montagna. Good to have him. Well, today's discussion, in fact, topic, it's interesting. One of my videos, my last live stream was removed by Susan. And I had to appeal it, and it got granted. My appeal was granted. Guys, this is crazy stuff. What Susan's trying to do to creators that just want to help people become better. But I got the strike removed, and I was granted my appeal. So sometimes you just gotta hit them back harder than they hit you. JR's in the house. Good to see JR. Morning to you. Just turned afternoon, but we're good. Men's Daily Advice and Encouragement is back. Good to have him. Check out his channel. Did I shout out to JR's channel? What do we got? JJ is in the house. What's up? Gonna go to the Dodgers and Giants game today. My dad was a Giants fan. He grew up about a couple hours from San Francisco. Barry Bonds, back in the day. Was Barry Bonds a juicer? AZ in the house, monk mode. What up to you, brother? Everyone stay on course. Going your own way will produce. Correct. Timmy Kramer is back, our forever bachelor. 82 on the golf course today. Every single day I enjoy my freedom. Old man Odin is back. Good to see you. Marcella, it's been a while since we've seen Marcella. Hi, it's been forever, but I finally made a live stream. Hope you're doing well. You're probably inundated with your studies. But always a pleasure to have Marcella in the chat. Bolo from Canada, good to have you. Real Chads are blank. I can't say that because Susan will get mad. Does anyone ever get the feeling of wanting to go back to the plantation? Well, I think that's an inherent. That's a good question. If the plantation emphasized men could be men and women could be women and so forth, it might be something, but that bus is long gone. Rib Grunt's back. I hike. Cheers to you. Let's see. Matt says, I hike with my freedom. Hiking is a wonderful event, guys. You should all do it. The multiple Y's in the house. Good to see you. The boy Kent is back. Have him in the chat. Tom Z is back. Good afternoon to you and Juan Galvez. Well, here's the deal. I was thinking about this. Men going their own way has been going on for centuries. Let's go back 200 years. The late 1700s to the early 1800s. Mountain men. Mountain men completely lived off the grid, hunted their own food, sold the pelts into town, got drunk, had a squaw every 6 weeks, hung out with this squaw, went to a different area, caught more animals, sold their pelts, bought more beer, bought more grub, grew beards longer, but they were essentially men going their own way. Explorers were men going their own way. Lots of the gold miners, if you think about it, left everything to go and look for gold for years. People went to Alaska. There's guys that have gone to fishing within the last, when I was in high school, there was a bunch of recruitment to get us boys to get up there and fish. There's guys that had no families that were doing that for years. So men going their own way is not a new concept in the last 10 years. It's become, the words have probably been new, but the idea and the experience has been around for centuries. In the Bible, you've got Jesus going his own way. You've got the Buddha going his own way back in the day. You've got samurais back in the day, in the 1400s going their own way. The conquistadores that came from Spain to, that were out exploring, traveling the world, map makers. So it's not a new concept. It's been around, but yet most people think It's something new. It's not new. Slam Cave, good morning, Rao. Weekend's all about spending time with my son. Good for you, brother. I just got done working out with my 17-year-old, and it's always good, even though he doesn't talk a lot, but it's good that he's with his dad doing something masculine. Effeminate men is what the woke culture and liberal society wants, 100%. Remember, the guys going their way in, let's just say 200 years ago, they were masculine men. Do you really think that they even complained? They just did it. They built, the people that built the skyscrapers, back in the 1900s. I would say half of them didn't have families, going their own way. They came from Ireland and those areas to make a new life, going their own way, right? On purpose, getting a degree, getting a skill, building something. So this is not a new concept. Like I said that 3 times, but I'm trying to lay it down to Chinatown. In fact, the Bible has 2,000 years ago, men were going their own way. What say ye? AKS is back in the house. Good to see AKS. Check out his live streams as well and his channel. I'm streaming again. If I can, I'm going to go into a fire pit tonight, but we'll see what we can do. The Matrix, the United States, blank, blank, blank. I would agree with that statement. Men's Daily Advice. Mile High Ronin is back. Salute to you. Always a pleasure. It wasn't too long ago. Oh, gotcha. Be careful what you guys say on the streams. You got to be very careful because Susan is on a rampage right now. My favorite men going their own way: Jesus, Arthur, Schopenhauer, Lao Tzu, the Buddha, Ludwig. There you go. Bringing it, laying it down to Chinatown. Spinoza. There you go. How about Howard Hughes? One of the great conglomerate multimillionaires back in the early 30s, who built the Spruce Goose. What about Nikola Tesla? Did he have a wife? Men and women interacting on a daily basis is what is new. 100% CJ, good to have you. Mysterio from Winnipeg is back. What kind of dad do you think you are? I'm a tough dad, but I'm not as tough as my dad. I'm not a soft dad. And I do tell my boys and my kids that I love them on a daily basis. My dad never said that to us. I know he loved us, but that just wasn't part of his growing up. His father never said he loved him. I mean, it's just a generation. So I just said, you know what? If something happened to me today, I hope they know that their dad loved them by a message yesterday, or I tell them I love them, or what have you. So, but I am not their friend. If that says anything. Brian is back. Brian Renard. Seth had a lot of wisdom. He's just overshadowed by his brothers Cain and Abel. There you go. Cain slew Abel. We are Spartans searching for adventure, says Matt Downer. That's all we are. Most men are going their own way, or they were. When boys are young, boys like to build tree forts. We like to throw rock clods. That's what we used to call them back in the day. Jump out of houses being built off the second story into the dirt pit with all the wood. That's what we used to do. Climb trees, go out on the frozen pond and walk across the frozen pond. Hopefully we're not going to sink, right? That's what boys did. They were on purpose. And then we get the hormones and we look at society programming says we got to hook up with someone. And the hookup, what happens? Right? We start having somebody take center stage to our purpose, which is a female. Which when you're 15, we got hormones crazy. Salute to all men who choose the road less taken. AZ Monk Mode. Polska's back. Hello to you. That band's not too shabby that you sent me earlier. Polska. Check out Polska's channel. Connor and McDougal's back. Hi, Rad. If you look at the Bachelor Society of the late 19th and early 20th, the clubs set up to help and prosper men who opted out of marriage were immense. It was a different world back then. I mean, the people that built the railroad, M-GTOW. The people who built the highways, M-GTOW. The people that homesteaded, a lot of them, cowboys and Indians. Were there any women in the cowboys and Indians? Only the women, the Indian princesses and squaws were the only women, unless the men that got into town and went to the tavern and saloon and got with one of those, bar rats. Emotional hurricanes are not attractive. Thanks for that analogy. They come 10 times a day. Nothing you can do about it, Slam. David Smith, M-GTOW's modern men rediscovering the importance and value of masculinity. Well said. Said. The ultimate bad boy, the devil, went his own way as well. Mysterio. 100%. right? He left the kingdom of heaven and said, I'm not going to follow God's plan. I'm going to do my own. There you go. A money chasing woman is no one who ever cooks or cleans for anyone. Is a money chasing woman is one who never cooks or cleans. Absolutely. Most women today can't cook. They don't even know how to cook. They prepare food, but they don't cook food. Cesar cooks. Marcella cooks. I guarantee that. Raised by strong cooks. Miyamoto Mashushi never had a wife. Matt Downer. There you go. Michelle O'Rourke Johansson is in the house. Good to see you. Hope your pregnancy is going well. Howard Hughes, I feel bad for me. Lost it near the end of his short life. He did, even Tesla. A lot of these guys, I think, were quite incel in a lot of ways. I think that they put their purpose above women, but I also think that they also had social issues big time. They didn't know how to communicate. Again, men hang with men. Women should hang with women. And when it comes to procreating or whatever, that's how it was for thousands of years. Rib grunt, Tesla had pigeons. There you go. Why not, right? Suzanne Fleming from Florida is in the house. Good to see Suzanne is back. It's been a while since Suzanne has showered us with her graces. Good to see you. Sigma Rodin, afternoon to you. Men's Daily says, so Susan is your new ultimate low-key troll. I had a strike, and I had to appeal the strike, and I got it removed. There you go. Welcome, Ms. Michelle and Ms. Lisa. If you were there, they are in the house. Lisa should show up unless she's doing something with her husband. There have always been M-GTOWs. It's a term. Patriots won. You're right. There always has been. Marcella says, we never said I love you at home, but I know my parents do. Honestly, I feel weird and gross saying those words. I always say this, Marcel, and it's good that you said that. Words mean nothing. It's actions. So the actions of your parents show that they loved you. The actions of my dad's parents show that they loved him. They never said it. Just a different world, right? Maybe back then actions were more powerful than today's words that people fling around for the last three decades. Top floor, listening near Chicago. Go hang out with Polska and M-GTOW Cowboy if he's off the road, right? Red Pill in the Wind is in the house. Good to see you. Good to see Red Pill in the Wind. My buddy DT has a 7 and 5-year-old kids. I think he wants to be friends with them. I see problems coming in the next decade. Yes. If you are a friend to your kids, you have lost them. I'm going to tell you guys that. You are a parent and a father or a mother. I am glad men are rediscovering their masculinity is because society has leached masculinity out of men, that the U.S. is going through hard times, and social justice and TikTok are damaging 100,000,000%. Michelle, great comment. Murphy's Law tonight, midnight show. No waffling, Bob. My former friend is getting married to a girl with tattoos. Little does he know she gave the box away for free. Oh my gosh, I was at the gym today and I saw so many of these muscular women that are juicing with multiple guys, this not, you know what I look at? I don't hate on them. I look and I say, that woman is not feminine. I like feminine women. That's all I say. What do we say to women on YouTube who say sarcastically, yeah, go your own way, man. We don't want you. Wait till they're in their late 30s and early 40s when the wall has come down hard, when gravity appears and makes a presence in their life, and then when box wine becomes their beverage of choice. PH in the house, good to see you. M-GTOW is only popular because the marriage laws are against men. Yeah, well, that's a good point. Good point. Mistress of the bat. Mistresses of the bar. I'm stoking my bonfire to remind myself of my solitude and freedom, marshmallows included. Go down to Guatemala to Lake Atitlan. You can climb a volcano and cook over this volcano s'mores, marshmallows. Matt needs to go down there. He'd love it. My name at AZ is short for Aesthetic Zeta. Find the tools and exercises to transcend the trap of male stereotypes. Tradcon, blankety blank, and effeminate masculinity. There you go. Men, get up and fight. That's what we do. I'm glad that my husband will teach our son that I am pregnant with how to be a man. My son will grow up with a father in his life. Good for you. Jump the rails and give up on the lies of what men should be to the status quo. AZ monk mode. Coolman is back. It's been a while since we've seen Coolman. Always got his beats on. Good to have Coolman back. Thank you. That means a lot. I think we need more women like Michelle and Marcella and Sessers and Suzanne Flemings and Victoria and Lisa Smith. The chilled food aisle at supermarkets continues to grow. They stopped teaching cooking at schools decades ago. I pity all those who don't know how to cook, especially kids. My sisters all cook, although now everyone gets lazy. But yeah, you can go to the lettuce aisle. Everything is chopped up for you. You don't have to chop anymore. All you have to do is take scissors, open the bag. And most bags, you don't have to use scissors anymore. It's crazy. Sound engineers back from the Eastern Europe area. That cap looks good on you. You look like Fred Durst. I'm certain that you play the guitar better than him. Oh, I think Fred Durst plays good. Good to have sound engineer. It's late. Nah, it's not too bad. What, 8 or 9 out there? Always a pleasure to have sound engineer. He's got some great content. Polska got a strike last night. You did? I did. Phrases of modern men include, I like to tell you how it really is, be care of opinionated and blunt women. Yes, be very careful of them. Remember, don't listen to words, watch actions. Mental wounds still screaming, driving me insane. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Going off the rails on a crazy train. A woman who brings a man peace is the 2%, but hobbies bring instant inner validation. Men want to conquer. That's what men want to do. That's built in our biology. And women want to nurture. For the most part, right? I once served with a dude whose last name was Pridgeon. It was a challenge to not address him as Madge Pigeon. Major Pigeon. Oh my gosh, Rev, that's funny. Rev's chilling. Hi, Rad, can you recommend some of your all-time favorite books? Diego Tomé, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. My favorite book is Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. The Way of the Peaceful Warrior is good. Busting Loose from the Business Game, or From the Money Game by Robert Scheinfeld. I'll have to think about that. I'll get back to you. We should have a discussion about that. That's a great question. That's how they see us on a crazy train. That's how they see us. Taking any emotions out of it, my friends that let their women lead have no control over their lives. They placate to their ladies, and I could see the ladies drop them like a hot potato. They're going to get bored of these nice guys. I was watching F-Boy Island last night. Oh, CJ is back. Check out CJ's channel as well. F-Boy Island. Check it out. Simps galore. Muscular men that look like alphas, all simps. You're absolutely right. There's a smug condensation that women have when things are going their way and they're into their prime. The minute they hit the walls, when humility starts to mold. Humility is a great teacher both for men and women. Well said, CJ. Most women don't date you unless you are a 6'3" and make 6 figures, says 6. Well, I'm not 6 foot. But I see a lot of women that are going that way. What music are you rocking? Hey, Matt. Matt likes some metal. Michelle, and told me we were going out, not ask me my husband's masculinity is what attracted me to him. Well, good for you. Because you are following your biology. You met your husband, went to Norway for a Rammstein concert. There you go. I met my husband at that concert. We flirted. I gave him my number. The next week he showed up at my grandparents' house. There you go. You gave him your number. Take note, folks. I always gave, or actually, you never ask a woman for their number. If anything, give them your number. Here's my number. Call me when you call me. If my roster's free, I'll get you in. B&D is in the house. Good to see B&D. How profitable do you think the Hollywood production of a M-GTOW movie would be in America if one were to release? Interesting. Rambo was going his own way, right? Mercenary, called up. That's an interesting question, CJ. Check out Bandmade, They Rock. My husband is traditional Viking male. He's the love of my life. There's again, I was talking about that. Vikings were also guys that went their own way, conquering lands, looting. Now, they weren't going their own way probably in the best with the blessing of God, but they were going their own way. Russia's subdivisions. Getty Lee today. Did you have cooking in high school? I did. I took cooking class. I remember making, what stands out to me today is when we made caramel and with the sugar and you boil the sugar. I still remember that to today. David Smith, bandmate is really good. Genuine musicians. There you go. Coleman says, what up, Rebel? Good to see you. All good. Today is going to be a fun day. Leonardo DiCaprio is now a litmus test for the very existence of social acceptability, M-GTOW level 1. There you go. Actors that go their own way. Now, does it mean that could he still be M-GTOW PH by dating women? Sure, because he has it on his terms. Remember, there's different flavors of a man going his own way. There's a monk. There's guys that hit and quit. There's guys that will not get married, cohabitate, have kids, be in whacked out relationships, take care of financially for women. I think Jonathan Noble, Esquire Jonathan Noble, the lawyer who's got great content, I think he's M-GTOW. Even though he dates a gal that lives 80 miles away or whatever. They have their own lives separate. They come together and they enjoy each other and they leave. That's what we miss in society. How is the Iron Chef in my neighborhood? There you go. With your broad. There you go. What's the difference between a wife and a prostitute? After 2 years, a prostitute will have sex with you. I think I think, people have talked about prostitutes. I've never used a prostitute or escort, but, and I don't ever see myself doing that. Not because I think it's maybe 30 years ago, I thought it was weird, but I think it's an option for men that, number one, can't find women. And I think women know what they're going to give to the man, and the man knows what he's going to give to the woman, which is a financial incentive, and the woman is going to give a sexual incentive. There's no difference between marriage. Today's women are not seeing the biological clock in their 20s, and one day they walk at being 30 and they realize that TikTok chances of motherhood are rapidly disappearing. Well said, Connor. And the wine, the alcohol, all of the makeup they put in their face, that doesn't help either with the wall. That wall comes sooner. Rival Sons, that's Mysterio's favorite band. Marcella says, I've always thought you look like Fred Durst. Come on. Rolling, 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 rolling. Fred's cool. I like his music. He's an interesting guy. He used to skateboard too. I think he's a year or two older than me. But I do like me some Limp Bizkit. I think they've got some. And that guitarist, he's crazy. He's always in a new outfit. What's his name? Wes Borland. I took cooking and typing in high school. Thankfully, got my real estate at 18 colleges a scam for 90%. Timmy Kramer, laying it down to Chinatown. I remember typing. We had to get to 50 words a minute. And we had to use whiteout. Remember putting in the typewriter and doing reports on, that was the worst. You young kids that have grown up without typewriters where you can just delete the last letter or the word, you had to physically go in and take whiteout, put it in the typewriter, and then hit the key so it would like erase the letter, but it didn't erase it. It just whited it out. Thank you, Rad. It's 21:15 o'clock. What is that? 9:15? I can't. There you go. Good to have you, though. Way of the Peaceful Warrior. That's a good book, and they made a movie out of it. I think Nick Nolte is the guy in it. Are you single? Of course, I am not married. I do not cohabitate. Quiet is kept. Many women are turned on by men who are honest and blunt with them. They scorn these men online to save face, but they are attracted to the confident me. Go watch, everybody, F-Boy Island, season 1 and season 2. Right? Catch on the Rye. We'll take a look. Thanks. Love your content. Watch all your vids. Please keep posting. I know. I've got to come on. I'm all out of ideas. Diago. Good to have you again. Hammerhand already made a M-GTOW movie and has about 6% done with the second one. There you go. Polska. Shout out to the gang. That give your women your numbers. Old school. 99% of Gen X women are so used to being worshipped. They view initiative. Oh, yeah. And they view it as creepy. Let them approach you. Speaking of Ozzy on his show, The Osbournes, he was begging Sharon for action. Prince of Darkness is not running the show. I don't think he ever ran the show. He's got a great voice, man. That guy is literally, he's got to be an alien because his health is so whacked out, but he can still sing. He just came out with a song, what, a year ago with Post Malone? Crazy. Timmy says, never tell a woman or anyone about your money or finances. Correct. Make it and save it. Well said, Timmy. Well said. You don't pay a prostitute to have sex with you. You pay her to leave you alone. Couldn't have said it better. My husband and I left the U.S. when I turned 23. We came home to Ireland because we got tired of the U.S. mindset. Yes, and you're raising your daughter very well. Keep up with that traditional family, that traditional culture of Irish culture that your great-grandparents used and lived in. 300 bands for Riot Fest. There you go. Mosh pits. I am due with my son in March. I do not want my children to ever be self-absorbed to think that everything will just be given to them. And be careful with the technology you give them too. Technology is not good. In the old days, gay guys kind of hid the fact by appearing M-GTOW, rock, Hudson. There you go. Yeah, I think you definitely have some truth in that. Everybody comes to town for my birthday. Happy birthday, Polska. Everybody shout out to Polska. Suzanne says, people that don't take responsibility for their behavior are just children. I say 98% of women, excluding the 1% to 2%, are just women or 5-year-olds with breasts, which is true. Their mentality hasn't really taken responsibility. Hemi's in the house. Good to see my wrench too. My favorite movies are The Craft, Practical Magic, Witches of Eastwood. Never saw him. Heard about him. I think a lot of men are in a phoenix stage. The phoenix rises from his own ashes. Brian Renard Davis. Ooh, laying that down in Chinatown. I like that. We are all phoenixes because at one point, Rad was in a marriage and simping too to keep his marriage together. We grew up with a very masculine father and a very feminine mother that knew both their roles, but society programs all of us. And then you go through the fire and the baptism by fire, and you come out and you're like, you know what? I rose. And that's all we do on these channels to help men rise from the ashes. Well said, Brian Renard Davis. Typewriters, I still have my old Underwood typewriter, red and black ribbon, Tom 1. Apparently, typewriters are coming back. I read an article on, I think, Mental Floss, that they're coming back. And people are collecting them. A couple of rad topics for future consideration, books and fitness regimes. I thought about that, Mysterio. I'll have to take that definitely in consideration. I'm 24 on my way to be a M-GTOW monk. Are there any regrets later in life? Just, you know what? I would associate your life with seeking purpose and doing the things that bring you happiness. And if a woman pops in, remember the red pill philosophy, which is what we recommend. No marriage, no cohabitation, no kids. We don't say, look, we have all flavors. We have guys that like dolls. We have guys that go monk. We have guys that hit and quit. We have guys that go to escorts. We have guys that don't want anything to do with women. And we appreciate everybody because as long as they have peace, quiet, and freedom, that's what you should be after. By straight Oko, I would agree with that statement. I did a video about that and it got removed. So I will not read that comment, but I agree with it. Fred Durst is 52. Then it means that you are 50. You really look younger than you're actually. I am 50. 50 years old and 1 month. So I am, what's 50 times 12? 601 months old. Michelle is a Gothic. Okay, so I wanted to bring something up. Jack the Ripper, was he an incel? Jack the Ripper from London, was he an incel? Think about that. He murdered or deleted women. Was he angry at women? Was he an incel? Was he black pill? Have you ever heard about the single guy who bought the abandoned ghost town Cerro Gordo in California? He's built up the town himself, opened up abandoned gold mines. Oh man, I'll have to check that out. That sounds cool. I love ghost towns, and there's tons of ghost towns in California and southern Utah. Just cool. Walking through them, old mud churches. Just live, says Goshura. One thing I'm getting flack from my husband and I made this decision together. We are not going to have Disney in our home because Disney lies. You know what? Disney is completely woke now. Good for you. Good for you following traditional Christian values. I believe Disney is no longer any of that. Happy birthday to Polska. Salute to him tonight. The last 2 metal shows I went to, I went in the mosh pit to remind him what it's like to be 24 instead of 44. They had a mosh pit at Bush and Alice in Chains and Breaking Benjamin. And man, I didn't get in just because I don't want to get a fist and an elbow in the face, but it was fun to watch. I remember those days. Women, we just want to share their feelings. Man, if we share our feelings, we get one of two things. Arrested, sir, laid quicker. Daniel H. Well said. Jack the Ripper had SCX with them, then off them. Do you think, like Ted Bundy? What do you think about Ted Bundy? Why do you think they had so much anger towards them after they had that? Coach Lamont's in the house. Good to see Coach Lamont. Be careful of modern women. Even if they're just friends, they can still be very toxic. That's another red pill truth right there. My son to believe that fairy tale prince and princess, my friends have given me and my husband flack for not allowing. Well, you shouldn't put anything in the house that is not acceptable to your beliefs. And Disney is woke. And get them off technology. Get them off all that social media crap. You know what they should be doing? Playing video games outside with balls and bats and running shoes and trees. That's real video games. None of this fake video game stuff. RPD. Now, I'm not against video games. My boys play them. But there should be a limit of how much you spend in front of the video game system. You shouldn't be playing them 24 hours a day. Give yourself an hour or two. Like you're watching a movie. And then go out and do something. RPD's in the house. Good to have you. Jack the Ripper, interesting rebel. There's evidence that Jack was actually from Chicago. That guy completely eluded everything. I did hear that theory that he actually had roots from the U.S. We need M-GTOW ghost towns, ghosting from society, and social justice warriors. There you go. There you go. I will be 29 in October. My daughter turns a year old. Well, happy birthday next month, Michelle. Ted Bundy had problems with his mom and no father, but had grandparents, but no strong father. There you go. What happens when masculinity is removed from the home, especially a boy and a girl's life? What decisions do they make? The anger boils and it has to release itself. We see it right now with tattoos on women that are multiple or piercings. They are releasing that emotional pain and distress through physical pain of a tattoo gun. I don't know what they call them. Needle. They love needles in their ears. They love to hurt themselves by growing their gauges. They pierce themselves. Again, looking for ways to get that energy out. What do men do? They become, they use strength and violence against people, which gets them behind bars. There's a reason this happens because the emotional energy is boiling. It's over. That's why we have to tell these guys, you can't go out and self-delete. You can't delete people. Hopefully they find these channels. You show your belly to any lady and you'll get shanked either by them or the state. It sure is turning that way. Europe's in the house. Modern women are always nagging, unhappy, and they choose to be feminists. 98%. 98% not recommended, my brother, Europe. There must be cowboys from Outlaws, past that didn't have wives. How about Jesse James? Jesse James, Butch Cassidy, and the Sundance Kids. Well, I went to Butch Cassidy's house last month. When was your RP awakening? Through my divorce. I found Big John's channel, M-GTOW's Freedom. I'm thinking a Cabo M-GTOW gathering is in order. Hell yeah. You know, I'll be there. Only men and women born from the 30 to the 50 have the last era of how men and women should be relating. Everyone else born after that. I agree. 100%, Mr. M-GTOW monk mode is the answer for feminism and not to be a submissive good wife. It's too easy now. You don't have to cook. The washing machine washes your clothes. The internet dishes you up whatever you want. You can go get fake implants of, if you want abs, you can get fake ab implants, biceps. There's nothing to work for anymore, right? Carl's back. Gents, it's complicated. Just dropped another epic video. Those who've never seen, it's a must-watch channel for the Manosphere. It's complicated. That's the name of the guy. We'll check him out. Good to see you, Carl. Red Pill Truth Bomb. In general, women in westernized countries never plan for the long term. They only plan for just the moment. She wants us, as the man, to be her retirement and financial well-being. Correct. Correct. What have you done for me lately? Janet Jackson. I think that most of us are going in and out of relationships for the rest of our lives. Huh? If you go into a relationship, go in with red pill theory. My favorite serial ender, Edmund Kemper. Where was he? I watched a bunch of serial killer documentaries. Very interesting. After the London murders, like 6 months later, a bunch of murders started showing up from New York all the way to Chicago in the same style. Interesting. They never found him, right? There's theories of who it was. I only have 2 or 3 red pill friends in real life. It's all my friends that are red pill are on this are on the internet. So good for you. But I met a couple of them. Rev, Brandon. Who else? I met somebody else. It's virtually impossible for a parent now to stop your kids getting online after about 12 years. All their friends will be a fully. I know. Trust me, I know. I know that. From England. Yep, he is from England. Manoj Roy from Mumbai. Good to have you. The only tattoos I will ever have are my husband, my daughter, my son's name on my ribs in Gaelic. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Be careful of women who like BDSM. That's another way to release their pain. Absolutely. And even promiscuity. It's another way to escape the pain. Bob, no waffling. Get those deliveries done. So many men say they were actual MIGs way before the term even existed. I believe that the weight of it all is too heavy. T-Talks in the house. Good to see T-Talks. Yeah, men were going their own way for years. Look at the Bible. Paul told married men, stay married. It's not worth divorcing at that time, and told single men to stay single. Kemper had an overtly abusive single mom, and dad wasn't in the house. Interesting that we became with males in the house. What was the deal with Jeffrey Dahmer? He grew up with a mother and father. He just might have just been crazy psycho. What is your secret to looking much younger, Rad? I know one of the secrets. I don't know what I would look like if I was still married. I think fasting has something to do with it. Just having an attitude that I can get through it. I'm going to say burger, Bob. Just fasting, but enjoying life, moderation in all things. I'm divorced 2 times now. They act submissive in the beginning. 2 years later, Frankenstein is coming. 2 months later in my world. But sound engineer, it's all about, doing, and I don't like doctors, so I do everything without doctors. I like apple cider vinegar. If you have a rash, throw that on there. I like to ride my bike. I like to hike. I like to be in nature. I think all of those things that natural things were meant to do is what will keep you younger. But I still like Diet Mountain Dew. I get shit about it all the time, but I don't care. My hometown band, the Guess Who? Randy Bachman, American Woman. Hell yeah. I remember speaking with Tal Bachman on the phone, his son. He's a cool guy. Real Dads has been thrown out of society for the long term. Well said. Well said, AZ. Feminism are strong and independent. We stop building infrastructure, stop helping them. I hope they don't blame us. Coffee rock in the house. Good to have coffee. They're going to blame anybody. Politically incorrect is in the house. Ted Kaczynski was something else, right? He was trying to alert the authorities that technology would destroy civilization. He's not wrong, guys. Don't go abroad. They only want your money in poor country. They see you as a diamond, guys. Hypergamy is absolutely. Women overseas know you're coming, and they have all the tricks up their sleeve. One of my father's favorite saying, business is business and love is bullshit. He would be an instant friend of mine, Suzanne Fleming. He would be an instant friend. What a good dad. The best relationship is boyfriend, girlfriend, separate residence, and sleepovers. How can cohabit marriage? I would agree with, that's good. That's what Jonathan Noble does. There's no financial, he doesn't have to financially take care of anyone. He doesn't live with them, doesn't have kids, doesn't cohabitate. And so when they come together, they enjoy each other's company. There's nothing wrong with that. Although he was diagnosed with borderline personality, schizophrenia, personality disorder, and a psychotic disorder, he was legally sane in his trial. Go Shura. Apparently, there's that new Netflix series I'm going to watch. I'm interested in that. Even those have a time limit, at least 6 to 7 years from my own experience. Pooping while standing. Well said, Carl. No one is good enough. George Clooney, Tom Brady, high value mills. You're right, Europe. Bros, I tell me a part of my monk mode is to stay clear from married men and my married and cohabitating brothers. My oldest bro is M-GTOW, post-divorce, 2 kids from 2 marriages. Jeez. There you go. Hang around people that are like you. Stallone's divorced. Rocky is divorced. Rocky Balboa. Many historical scriptures are more favored towards gynocentrism. Sorry to say this. There are quite a few scriptures like that. Brad, I think someone that was never married cannot understand the damage as you went through. Sadly, most will have to burn to learn. Well said, Lone Wolf. Well said. We don't understand what we don't understand, right? Being a black male, good to have you. Being a black male, I still get pegged younger than my 51. No marriage, having kids and fasting and listening to music, working out, kept me young. Absolutely. As Greg Adams says, black don't crack. All the black guys look great. Man, they get their 70s, 80s. They don't look like white guys just look wrinkled and gross. Would you say French mistress was a traditional family structure in early M-GTOW? Interesting. I don't know. Good question. PH, good question. Let me think about that. Some scriptures do favor feminism. Here in Italy, football player Totti and Larry Blasi ended up 20 years of marriage. 20 years of marriage when Larry found out Totti losing his resources. So they divorced? Coffee Rock? I think that's what you're saying. Rad, your channel's been blessed with very little strikes for the most part. You're doing something right. I did get a strike yesterday, but I appealed it and they granted my appeal. Jeffrey Toobin was raised by a single mom and an absent dad. He's now associated in televised pulled pork like Monica is associated with Bill. A lot of these guys that don't have father figures and strong father figures, you can have a father figure that can be a total wet noodle, a strong one, like Suzanne Fleming's dad. Love is bullshit. I tell my kids, don't go after love. That's dopamine. That's the same chemical you get from eating a nice hamburger with bacon and cheddar cheese. She is a feminist by choice. She is a single mother by choice. She is divorced by choice. 100% Europe. Choice for 300 Trebek. She chose to, it's funny, I was talking to my buddy whose ex-wife married this wacko and had 2 kids. She chose to marry him. She chose to have not 1, but 2 kids. She chose to stay married to him for 15 years. Choices. Timmy Kramer, I'm attracted to fit, thin, feminine women. Not many out there anymore. A feminine woman does not turn her face into a caricature. Caricature for 300 Trebek. Well said, Timmy. If you're bad, Buddhists say you reincarnate as a woman. That, maybe. That's kind of funny if you think about it. Only a person who went through that pain of divorce can understand it. I would agree. And I tell guys, stay out of divorce court. And the only way you stay out is don't get married and don't cohabitate. Most men already knew in the past she's not yours. That's why we made up the BS of institutional marriage. No, this is why society is breaking down. Marriage and families used to be the basic unit. Not anymore, AZ. You age quicker by getting married. At least that's a proper human science. Stress is a body that is not at ease. That's all it is. Read for yourself Gospel of Thomas. I did read it. Course of Miracles. Love to me is caring about another well-being. Yeah, you can love somebody and care about them. That doesn't mean you have to. Romantic love is for 13 and 14-year-old kids. That's it. And 50-year-old women that think the fantasy still exists. You got, what did you say, Polska? Would you please create a video regarding this topic? Which topic? On men going their own way, have been around for centuries, or your topic? I think you've said a few things down. Oprah should have gotten a strike like YouTube because of years of male bashing. Total double standard for 300 Trebek. 100%. You can go out and say that there's certain things medically that I won't do just because I would rather do natural things, if you get my drift. But yet you can transform your body by surgically removing certain body parts and being a spokesman and a beacon for those that want to do that, and you're showered with affection and popularity. It makes no sense. But again, clown world for 300 Trebek. Carl says dating is just a slow form of prostitution. Well said. Women marry for love, men, and divorce for money. Couldn't have said it better, PH. The grass is not greener on the other side. In every relationship, it is negative and positive balance. If she wants to leave you, it is a blessing in disguise. Greatest gift I got was when she divorced me, although I did not know it was a gift at the time. Do married men die younger? Yes, they always die before the woman. And you're absolutely right, Connor. Absolutely right with that second statement. It's crazy how delusional women are about the fantasy. The fantasy is not the reality. The fantasy is for Disney. Business is business. Love is bullshit. We're going to make that a bumper sticker with Suzanne's blessing. There's a high rate of divorce during recession. 2008 was not only a great recession, but also a year of the biggest divorce. I would agree with that. Lone Wolf, you can fall in love with a girl, but female nature will wake you up eventually. Just wait, you do a video on falling in love. What the hell does that mean? You're falling into the fantasy of deception, delusion. Timmy Kramer, most of the women that I see at work are leaning towards being heavy, and they are young nurses with money. Never marry a nurse. Do not follow Rad's example. Nurses are the second in the hierarchy of the notorious cheating women, first being homemakers, second, nurses, and third, teachers or hairstylists. I can't remember. The grass may be greener, but it's just tough to mow. John Butler. Thanks, Carl. They say that single men die before married men. I don't get it. I don't believe that. I think that's just a narrative that they're pushing. I stopped pumping and dumping. Women have high body counts. There's a high chance to get HIV. Be careful out there, guys. Be careful, says Europe. In my opinion, women these days seem to get a coating of Teflon every year from the age of puberty as nothing sticks. The human right violation issue is really not being pushed as it should be hard in federal court regarding men's rights. Wolf King Sigma in the house. Well said. Dating statistics are kept in the center of disease control. Jeez, if that's not a red flag, that is crazy, Brian Renard. Dang. It's funny how women in stressful occupations deal with their stress. Boxed wines and animals and promiscuous behavior. The female professor who said vile things about the dying queen hasn't lost her job. Men who say men don't have a womb get sacked. Ridiculous double standard. Everything's a double standard. Sad. John Boston, the legendary John from Boston. Rad, how are you going to go to the wedding tonight? Oh, you've got to send me pictures, please. And just please go and go and watch and then report. We got to do our third stream together about this. Get him to the wedding. Get him a roofie or something. No, I'm kidding. No, don't do that. Get him drunk. Maybe he'll think differently. About fasting and all related things to stay young and healthy. I know that you have a lot of valuable things. I should do something like that. I should do something. I think the biggest key is just trying to do things that make you feel like a kid again. We should do another collab, Mysterio. Best bumper sticker I ever seen in California was kill a baby, save a straw, have a child, made me pro-life. Jeez. I just cannot believe that the word that Roe versus Wade was even a law. I mean, it's deletion. I don't, man, that's a sick society. I ignore women 100% because I know in the moment I see her, she got 5 other guys texting her. Most women today have multiple guys in their orbit. What do you think of Andrew Tate? He's got some good, decent stuff. I haven't watched a lot about him. I know he got canceled, but I do like some of the stuff he says. I think he's a good role model for guys. I think he'll put you on the right. I think he'll put guys on the right path if you follow his wisdom. Tekken Godjets is back. Good to have Tekken, one of the greatest names on YouTube. Tekken Godjet. Brad, I'm going with others who are recording it. Oh, John, you've got to let me know. Take some pictures. I want to see what she looks like in her wedding dress. And when they're dancing, I want to see the disparaging body types and how they fit together, if you know what I mean. Will his arms reach around her and clasp, or will he have to need an extender arm, like an extender seatbelt? You woke up because she starts making you uncomfortable. That is the biggest signal that your life is bound to be turned upside down. Well said, Minaj Roy. You can't build a family with the modern woman. You build everything, and she destroys. Most do. Most do. Rad, my libtard friends on Martha Vineyard went out of their minds when they showed up and shipped them. Yes. Didn't they try to send them down to yeah, it's, you know what? It's such a double standard. They vote libtard. They vote for these folks that want to give everything, take from the producers. And yet when it comes, when the rubber hits the road, as Dr. Phil says, they don't show up. Hypocrites, right? Isn't that the word for hypocrites? Did you ever think about being a cop? I did. I actually went through the FBI the first round. And then I met my wife. Oh, hindsight, I guess I did things right. And that's another thing. FBI, I know a lot of FBI agents growing up that were single. Send me some pics, brother. Busted can, Pillsbury, and the white dress. That is absolutely, we should send that to Greg Adam. That is a busted Pillsbury biscuit can. Biggest turnoffs in women, liberal pronouns and pro-choice, cool age. Absolutely. Guys, it's been a great stream. It's time for Rad to go eat something. It's been 24 hours. But remember, stay on purpose, get outside, and do the things that bring you peace, quiet, and freedom. Rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity. Hold on, I got one more comment I got to read by Tommy. Hey, Rad, hope you're having a good weekend. Wondering about how you perceive the AWOL philosophy. As someone who has a daughter, what's your mindset about future romantic? I would stay clear of future romantic partners. Dibble and dabble. Do not have relationships. Raise your daughter. And I have one too. But you guys have been great. Hang in there. If you have any questions, Tommy, you can send me an email, rebelagainstdefeat@gmail.com. I'm out.